The Dave Glover Show is sponsored by the Michaels Flooring Outlet, the flooring experts. IGotFloored.com.
Welcome back, guys. DGS on KMOX 104.1 FM, KMOX to boot. So last couple of weeks, I was telling you guys that I was invited to be on a podcast called Mostly Superheroes with Logan and Sam, and I did, and it was really, really cool and really fun. We posted that for you online, and I reciprocated, and I invited the guys to come into KMOX, and they're here now. Good to see you again.
Good to see you, Dave.
It was really fun. It really had a good time.
Yeah, this is awesome. Like, you were just in our world. Now we're in your world. This is pretty cool.
Your world's a little cooler. Like for real, like it's in a basement, and it is just like Sam said, it's like a kind of a potpourri of everything, but it's got a really cool vibe. I really, really liked it.
Thank you. I was just telling Rachel we're on version 8 of our studio. So I guess we're counting version styles. You called this one like a cool radio style office, but also kind of a dentist office. I don't know what you're talking about, man. This is
cool. If you
cool.
look up at the bright lights enough, you might feel the drill.
My dentist office looks just like this. So
yeah.
So introduce the podcast if I did a bad job of it back when I was on. So
I'm Logan Janis, host of the podcast Mostly Superheroes. 6 years, 300 plus episodes, 50 plus countries, variety talk show meets morning show meets podcast. So we do fan giveaways. We're St. Louis born and bred. So we have St. Louis guests, St. Louis sponsors. Friends of our show are like Four Hands and the Gramophone and all these fun people. And Team Jakey, who we're here to talk about today, is a friend of the show and a sponsor of the show. And Sam is on the show. So that's me. I'm Logan, Mostly Superheroes. Sam.
Yeah, I go by Sam the Sleeper on the podcast. And, the first time I was on that podcast, he told me, hey, go see this movie. And I fell asleep through the movie like eight different times. And I came in to do the podcast. I was like, you guys, I'm sorry. You're going to have to help me out here.
I slept through it. That's fun.
So therefore, the Sleeper.
I've only fallen asleep one time at the theater in Chicago watching Chris Rock and Down to Earth. What a strange reference, right?
His was Black Adam with The Rock.
Oh, really?
That'll do it.
Oh, it's bad when an action movie gets you.
Yeah. Oh, it was brutal.
So tell me about the superhero thing. Like, is it really mostly superheroes? You mostly do that, or is it just a clever name?
Yeah, we started in TV and film. I'm a Marvel movie fan. I'm a rewatcher. I've seen Lost upwards of 15 times, and I love to talk about it, getting into the storylines, breaking stuff down. We started there, but we're really community focused now. We host a lot of in-person events. So the Mostly Superheroes, that's completely intentional. Like, you'll really catch us talking about movies. You'll catch us hosting our screened and social events at the Alamo Draft House, where we see movies with our fans.
Yeah.
We host TV and film trivia bingo at Four Hands.
Yeah.
And then we, of course, break down the movies, the TV shows, the fan contest, and community interviews, celebrity interviews, all in the show. So it's mostly superheroes.
So let's talk about nerdery. We're all nerds here, right? I'm more of a dork, but we're all nerds. I feel sorry for people who are not nerds. I really do. They miss out on so much of life. Like, if you're the quarterback of the football team and you don't really know who Batman's top 3 villains are, like, I feel bad. You've really missed out on a lot of life. Do you think that you're born a nerd? You think you're made a nerd? Like, what is it about that we all fall into that allows us to enjoy our lives more than non-nerds?
I think that it's changing a little over time, and that a nerd just means you're really passionate about something and that you're willing to spend time in it.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, if you're a NFL football player or a radio DJ, like, you're a nerd about something.
Yes.
You might not even realize it.
Yeah.
So man, that's the superhero
just
side
diving
of things.
deep.
Yeah. But Team Jakey, man, we're partnering up. We're kind of working as a promotional engine to help Team Jakey, and I'd love to have Sam kind of open up.
Sam,
is that okay?
To
Talk
your
about the
level
group
of comfort, tell us your story.
Okay. Oh, yeah. So Team Jakey goes back 11 years after the suicide death of my twin brother, Jake. And it just, he was a lot like me, just a little better looking, funnier, and just charismatic as can be, going to a party and just be just the guy you wanted to sit down and talk with. So it really just came out of the blue when he passed away. And right after that, we started Team Jakey, and a grassroots organization, just a family that got together. And my uncle said, let's throw a cornhole tournament. That first cornhole tournament raised $2,400. And here we are 11 years later, and we've raised close to $500,000.
Wow, that's crazy.
For two, American Foundation for Suicide Prevention and Provident Behavioral Health in St. Louis.
Good on you.
So, sum it up, that's what
it.
we do.
And I always try to help, push. Like, I'm an outsider looking in. I got to know Team Jakey as a fan. That cornhole tournament is more than a cornhole tournament now. They do play cornhole. That's September 20th, a little far out from now, but it's still on the calendar. A helicopter landing, a SWAT team presentation. We have photo buses, magicians. There's probably going to be live music this year. I'm getting a little ahead of myself, but things are happening, and we have some other stuff happening up sooner. But I always like to say, at the core of what happened with Team Jakey, the Zellers, there were two things that came out of it. It was a reaction. They grieved, and then they said, well, how do we talk to each other about this, and how do we talk to the public about it? So it was communication, talking about it. And then Mike Otten, late and great Mike Otten, Sam's uncle, passed away last year unexpectedly. He was the kind of the community chair lead that helped raise a lot of these funds at the event, and it was his idea to host that big event. So his reaction was get the community together and try to save some lives. So we're doing a lot of stuff, and we have a big collaboration starting with Alamo Draft House.
Yeah, tell us about it.
Is that okay? Well,
yeah, you bet. Anything you guys want to talk about?
This is kicking off tomorrow, April 1st at Alamo Draft House. Big shout out to Alamo Draft House. They started their program, Charity on Tap. So they pick a charity once a quarter, and they donate $1.50 in partnership with the brewery that they work with. So in this instance, Four Hands Brewing Company, our good friends at Four Hands. Starting April 1st through June 30th, for every citywide American Pale Ale that you buy at Alamo Draft House, $1.50 goes to Team Jakey. So that's the big news, big clap. We're very excited. A lot of generosity here in town. And we're kicking this off with a happy hour this Thursday, April 3rd, 5 to 8 p.m. at Alamo Draft House. Team Jakey, mostly superheroes. And here's the big thing. If you drink citywide and you go to the Alamo and you're like, ooh, this might be me, first 100 patrons will get a limited edition koozie and sticker pack. We've brought you guys all this stuff here today, here in the studio. I think we're on the camera. So we got these nice limited edition koozies. You'll get some stickers, first 100 people. So April 3rd, come out to Alamo and hang out with Team Jakey.
Very nice.
Absolutely.
How much has it helped you, Sam, doing this?
It's one of those things where in the beginning it was like just kind of going through the motions, just because you didn't know. It was just something like, let me figure out let's find a silver lining if there is one. And it was last year I gave a talk at Keeley Construction here in St. Louis about, suicide prevention and our story. And it was during that preparation for that talk that I forced myself to reflect after 10 years. And it was like the hardest 2 hours of prep that I've ever, I was crying through it. And I was like, wow, just forcing myself to reflect on all this and think about what had happened, why it may have happened, what I could have done better. And it's just from last year to this year, it has been monumental, life-changing, just epiphanies after epiphany. It's been great. And, we talked about it on the podcast when you were on, more people, I think, would be happier if they did more outreach, not just donating money, but just more community outreach, more of their actual time doing something. It doesn't have to be suicide prevention, just be something you're passionate about.
Yeah.
So
what sort of changes in Sam have you seen, Logan, over the course of this?
Yeah, I think it's been really, really good for me personally. It's really changed my outlook on death. Something that we all have to face. It's this uncomfortable part of life. There's an end in sight. We all know about it, but we don't really talk about it. And when people pass, and in general, it just kind of sometimes it can fall to the wayside. With Team Jakey, it's just been really good to see a family that just lifts up all these strong memories year after year, that they start to grow beyond that. It becomes like a new kind of grieving and a new kind of way of memorializing Jake, which is it always comes back to remembering Jake and trying to help anyone out there. Now, I think that of course I always say it saved your life, Sam. It saved the Zeller's life. And then the impact beyond that has been the dollars raised are great, but we've had so many stories and testimonials of people that just heard us talking about things that you really can save someone's life. And Dave, I know you shared that personal story where that kind of happened with you. Someone heard you talking on the radio, and that it's just that simple thing of doing something good, being in the community, and Sam always says it, getting comfortable with the uncomfortable, willing to look this rocky road life in the face sometimes, and go oh, wow, that was way less scary than I thought.
Yeah. It's so funny, Sam. I'm very similar. I'm not a big funeral crier, but I told you guys about the work I do with No One Dies Alone, and we had, I think, 15 people from the DGS volunteered to sit vigil with people in hospice who are passing away. And they asked if I'd come in and say a few words. So after the show, a couple weeks ago, I go in and I walk in and I just start crying. Like before it's even like, hey, I'm Dave Glover from the Dave Glover Show. Let me get a little personal here. I just start bawling. So isn't that weird that at someone's funeral, I'm stoic, but then I get in front of a bunch of strangers and say one syllable and suddenly it's just the waterworks. You just never know.
You never know.
You
yeah.
never know.
I mean, even as something as simple as like when like a pet passes.
Yeah.
I think I'm gonna. I think I'm gonna be tough.
I've
and then
never
like after the moment comes.
No, I've never cried more than when we had to put Augie down. So that's just the way it is.
Yeah.
You know why that is? Because they don't talk.
Yeah.
If they talk, we'd be like, I hate that freaking dog.
Yeah.
He's such a smart ass. But when they don't talk, you're just like, you're the coolest thing in the world.
Yeah.
So talk a little bit more about the podcast. Let's lure people in. How do you get them to listen? What is it that you think is your like real hook?
Yeah, we pride ourselves and have paid attention to really good podcasts and radio shows like this over the years to try to keep you informed in the ways that we know you like to be informed. And we have a great newsletter. It's all at mostlysuperheroes.com. We have a Team Jakey page, and you can hear from Team Jakey on the podcast for the last couple of years and hear some stories from the group. So again, mostlysuperheroes.com. Anywhere you listen to podcasts, you're just searching Mostly Superheroes. We're on YouTube. And then our community events, we plug our events at mostlysuperheroes.com/events because we're doing a lot in that space. And pretty much at this point, Team Jakey and Mostly Superheroes have just teamed up as like kind of a, Max Otten said it. He's Mike's son and Sam's cousin, and he's on the board of directors with us for Team Jakey. He said we're kind of the fun uncle when it comes to mental health. We have these great friends and resources at AFSP Missouri and Provident Behavioral Health, who has done the hard work to get 988 up for anyone that's struggling. You can call 988. You can text 741-741 if you're struggling. Like, these are resources that we get to use to get to the community. And that's really like someone like Provident in town who's doing a lot of work. That's how we can help them get into the community. So I always like to say, like, we're doing fun stuff like, ooh, a shiny helicopter, ooh, TV and film, trivia bingo, like movies. And then we're kind of like, how you doing? And it's okay to be like that. And we're not going to pry. Maybe you come to 5 events before you ever open up. And that's kind of what we're counting on.
Yeah.
So we really challenge you to go check out the events at mostlysuperheroes.com/events. Team Jakey is on Facebook, and all the events are on Facebook. And this is a teaser. We're going to announce it soon, but we bought the domain. It's teamjakey.org. If you go there now, nothing would happen, but the website's coming.
And when is your big event? It's September.
Oh yeah, September 20th is our flagship cornhole tournament, so keep an eye out for that. But more on the horizon. We mentioned the April 3rd happy hour at Alamo, and then a big event that you guys have done over the years. Sam, you can talk a little bit about Taps for Team Jakey.
Taps for Team Jakey was an event we used to have many years ago. COVID kind of put a damper on that, so we're bringing it back May 22nd at Four Hands in the tap room downtown. So come out, enjoy the day with us. It's going to be late afternoon, all night. Just to come out and have some beers for the cause. It's going to be a really good time.
Nice. And on the 20th, the DGS is going to donate one of our Cardinals experiences where you can go to the game with me. I'll take you down pregame and show you batting practice, bring a couple of baseballs with you, get them signed by the players. Then you'll sit behind home plate, about 22 rows back. And then usually around the 3rd inning, I'll take you up for a couple of innings in the KMOX broadcast booth.
Dave, thank you so much. Thank you guys so much.
Awesome.
Yeah, you're welcome.
That is we've always Team Jakey's always prided ourselves on the world's best prizes.
There you go.
Like, very good.
This is a great start.
That's a great start. So
for the year.
You can watch for prizes like that at the cornhole tournament, September 20th, and at Taps for Team Jakey. We'll do May 22nd prizes, raffles. There will also still be like a photo bus there, a magician, some live music. That's May 22nd at the tap room. And man, get you an awesome Cardinals package with a tour.
Nice.
So thanks, Dave.
Maybe you guys will be there. That'd be great.
Hey.
It costs extra for him.
Yeah. I'm a troublemaker.
Tim Thorpe.
I break stuff.
Well, it's great to meet you guys, and continued success and an open door here anytime you need it.
Thank you so much.
You're very welcome.
And Kevin and Rachel will get you guys into the studio and Mostly Superheroes. And
just not Andrew.
And Andrew. Andrew's our guy, actually. Andrew's our main guy.
He's the target, right?
Andrew's the only person I have the email for. So
The Dave Glover Show is sponsored by the Michaels Flooring Outlet, the flooring experts. IGotFloor.com.